What's going on, guys? This is Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group, and I'm so excited to have my dear friend, Ashley Gravano, on, and we're going to talk about her journey in the real estate industry and how far she's come from being in the industry since 1998.
I
I
was
don't know.
12.
You were 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say 10 when we'll round it off.
Okay.
So I met Ashley 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years.
Something like that. And Ashley was working with a title company in the title industry. And if anybody remembers, and they were down at what is it? What's that big thing that they have in Atlantic City every
Triple
summer?
play.
The Triple Play.
The triple play.
I never told you this, so I'm going to say it live on the air right now. Ashley was actually very, very well known for a red dress that she wore. I don't know if you know that or not. But
Are you going to pan to the picture?
and here's the picture. No, I'm not kidding.
I was going to say, oh my God.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so that was funny. So people, oh my God. And I'm like, relax, dude. So it was funny because, hearing or asking people asking me, hey, do you know Ashley from blah, blah, blah title? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, she's down here. So you made a very, apparently a big splash at the Triple Play. I think that was 2 years ago that you had that red dress on.
2. Well, yeah, going on 3. This December will be 3. Time flies.
Absolutely. And then also, so I met you through Jennifer Romero, who I know you guys are good friends, whatever. And, we used to hang out. We hung out a couple of times, which was cool. So, there's not many people in this industry that I could consider a very close friend. You're actually one of them. I'd asked you if you could come on, talk a little bit about your story, what you do, why you're doing it, and why you're successful and why you're still around. And basically, seeing the writing on the wall, being able to look at opportunities, obviously pivoting during, up times and down times. We've got the COVID-19 thing going on right now.
Yeah.
So, so let me see if I get this straight. So in 1998, you got involved with a mortgage company. You worked in the mailroom.
I did.
Which is pretty awesome. I want you to tell the story. And then from there, obviously, you moved up into sales and you did stuff with mortgages. And then for a while, you did some other, things perhaps. But you were also in the title industry for a very long time. Tell us a little bit about what made you choose at a very young age. You say 12, but I think anybody could figure out the numbers. In getting inside, and this was a major mortgage company. What was your thought process?
Everyone that you talk to says the exact same thing, that you fall into the mortgage space. I think real estate, being realtor, is a little bit different. But the mortgage space, especially back in 98, you fall into it. I got a job as a temp. I was a temp in a mailroom. Through a temping agency down in here in South Jersey. And a lot of my friends were in sales and they were loan processors, and they're like, you've got to come to this mortgage company. I was working as a waitress at Bertucci's and a teller at a bank. And they're like, you should come here, come work here.
Why not college? Why did you go to college that?
I just was never really a school kid. And, I think my 20-year-old is following suit. He's really not a school kid. I wanted to do something right out of high school and start working. And I bought my first house at 19. So I just didn't want to go through the whole school thing. I mean, my family's from New York. My parents didn't go to college. Most of my brothers didn't go to college. So for me, it just wasn't a fit. I mean, I was like inching through high school. Thank God. Like I had lots of friends, I just kind of did all the groups and all of the little different extracurricular activities so I could not go hard on the books. Just wasn't for me.
So was D for diploma? Is that what was that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did pass with like A's and B's, but
oh, excuse me.
It just I just couldn't see myself being in school another 4 to 6 years. So, I mean, I've thought about going back and maybe doing something business related, but with as busy as I am now and the market, it's not going to happen. I've been saying it for years and I'm going to go back, but.
Understood. So couple things I want to discuss today, obviously, is the mortgage industry. You understand the title industry. You worked your way pretty high up. The last company that you were with, what were you? What was your role?
My last company, I was vice president of sales and marketing. So I was responsible for all the marketing as well as the sales team, bringing the brand, from a one state company to a multiple state company. So in all together, I've only been in three companies my entire mortgage career. So starting in 98, I was with that company 17 years, give or take, and then 3.5 years with the last company. And now I've been with Mortgage Cadence for a year and 2 months.
So you don't jump around. You stay, you plant yourself, and you try to do some type of growth with the company. And
Yeah.
obviously, if there's nothing there as far as growth, and you max out, you're going to
Right.
move on to something else.
Right. Yeah. So starting in the mailroom, right? I mean, who wants to say that they're Michael J. Fox, right? Working in the mailroom. So I was in the mailroom for a little over a year and then moved over to the appraisal side and was helping in the appraisal world and then moved into sales and then moved into managing the sales team and then moved into the account manager role. At the first company that I was with since I was 12 and was in the account manager role for 12 years. So I had about 37 clients, large lending clients that I was making sure they were happy and that they were growing and they were using us for the title business. And like you said, I did that for a long time and I was like, all right, I've been here since I was 12 and I'm now 30, so I should probably think about moving. Because I just didn't see that I could move up from that role. So I was, director of client accounts, and had a recruiter knock on my door and say, "Hey, there's this opportunity to help build a new company." And I said, "Well, it's kind of like a divorce." It was like a divorce. Like I literally cried in front of the CEO my last day because I grew up there and had tons of mentors there that I'm still very close with and still talk to on a regular basis. That's one thing about the mortgage industry. Like everyone's very close knit, regardless if you pivot to a different, going from title to appraisal or title to where I am now. Your mentors and your friends. It's just it's a family. So that's one thing I love about even though I'm in fintech software now, I'm still very close to everyone in the lending space. So it's good.
Now, you can definitely tell, like, basically, so your personality is you're very social, and you like to build on connections and you like to connect people, which you have done obviously for me in my industry, and I appreciate that as well. Um, so, I guess the things I'd like to talk to you today about is the COVID situation, obviously, being a mom during COVID, obviously trying to stay, I guess, sane in the realm that we're in right now, because everybody's not really not used to staying home, or they're not
Mhm.
used to working from a home environment and being quarantined. I run my business completely virtual, and I've done it for many years, so it really wasn't like
A
that.
hard pivot wasn't hard.
Not at all. And my neighbors, who, one of my neighbors, works at the college. One of my neighbors works for Verizon. One of my neighbors is an electrician, Hen Foreman, in New York City. UPS. So to see everybody outside, they look lost. They're like
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah.
They don't know how to basically. They don't fit. They're out of their skin right now, so they don't
Mhm.
know, what they're really doing. Which, I feel bad. You have a couple of hashtags that I wanted to share while we talk about this next segment.
Just a
One,
couple.
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So if somebody wants to follow you on social media, they could follow, those hashtags or what have you. What's your thought process? I mean, obviously you have the opportunity to work from your house, but you also have the opportunity to, go see, clients.
Mhm.
Are you still getting on planes? Were you getting on planes?
I was on a plane March 10th. So the following Monday, which was a Thursday, March 10th was a Thursday, maybe it was a Wednesday, coming back from Denver. Our headquarters is in Denver, plus I had a title conference out there. So I was on a plane 4 days before New Jersey locked down that following Monday. So we're going on 9.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Have not been on a plane since. Have not left the house other than essentials. Right. Let's not
Mm-hmm.
get into that. So I'm on the road all the time,
Mm-hmm.
And now, the conferences were all canceled. So this new role is, national conferences, regional conferences, going to visit clients. We have a long list of clients, going to our offices. We have an office in Edina. We have an office in Denver. So always on the road. With the other role, it was more regional. So I, hovered between New York, New Jersey, Philly, right? New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. With this role, 1 week I may be in Arizona, the next week I'm in Maine. So it's been challenging to say the least, because I have to be around people, right? Like, I'm Italian, and I'm like, I'm just a people person, like you said. I love to kind of just be the social butterfly in the room. So I was on an interview the other day, and I said, I couldn't imagine having this job 20 years ago, where we don't have Zoom and Google Chat and whatever you're on, because I don't know how we would do business, right? I have the luxury to work from home as much as I want, but and I need to be out with clients. So this has certainly been challenging, and they've pretty much canceled all of the big conferences. The next one is scheduled for September tentatively. So, and the work from home thing with the kids. I mean, I luckily only have a 12-year-old, and he's pretty at home. My 20-year-old doesn't live home anymore, but my 12-year-old's pretty good. He can, do his own thing, but he's also bored out of his mind, right? I mean, yeah. So I'm like your neighbors. Like, I'm walking around like a zombie, right? What's next? Where are we going? When can I, So our park's finally open, which is good, which because you're in New Jersey as well. But when the parks were closed, I was like, geez. Lots of my local liquor stores certainly getting a lot of business.
I can imagine. Definitely from you.
Yeah. Not gonna lie.
Not to put it out there like that.
No, it's too early to drink. I mean, the last time we hung out, I think we were at the Cheesecake Factory having margaritas or something. So
that was not during the day.
No, it was not. It was at night.
So let's talk about Cadence. So right now you have the role of vice president, production solutions for this mortgage company. And
lending company.
What's that?
Lending company. Lending solutions.
I apologize. Lending.
No, it's good. Everyone thinks we're a mortgage company, and I talk about that a lot because our name is Mortgage Cadence. So they assume it's a mortgage company, but we're lending software. So lending solution software.
So let's talk about the software. Talk about what it is that you guys offer and why the solution works for people that write mortgages.
Yeah, so we're end-to-end lending technology. So if you've heard of companies like Roostify, or you've heard of companies like Blend, they may be a piece of lending software, like a point of sale for a loan officer to use. And then there's companies like Pavaso that do closing collaboration. So there's all these different companies that offer different pieces of technology for the entire lending process. What's great about Cadence, and isn't why I came here, of course, is we're end-to-end technology. So our customers, our lenders that are on our software, can start at the point of sale with their borrowers and can go all the way through to closing collaboration, which is the other product that I was on until recently. I didn't get to tell you yet that I just got a new gig. We could talk about that. So we're end-to-end. So you won't need to go through all of these different integrations to get a point of sale, get a closing collaboration tool, get a doc center. Like, we're end to end. So it makes it easier for the customers to be on one software than bolting on all of these different. So we always say, like, the best of breed, right? Like, do you want the best of breed? Do you want the best POS? Do you want the best, the best of breed? You'll hear us talk about a little bit. We can offer all of that, and we're great, and we could do it all. So you're not having to work with so many different companies. So it's a change for me, right? I mean, I go from being in title insurance for 17 years to moving into fintech. So certainly a learning curve, but the company itself is great. The people are great. It's like a big family, even though we're, owned by Accenture, so we're huge. But we're kind of a little company within the big company. So it's the people there are awesome. They've been getting me trained up.
So let me ask you a question. So, I back in the day, I worked for two different mortgage companies. One company, I was a processor, and I was fucking horrendous. The other one, I did marketing, and advertising, and I ran their for sale by owner side of it, and that's where I started to make my name for myself. But when they were doing applications, they were doing 1003 applications. What is it about the software that your company offers that's so spectacular?
It's just the fact that it's faster, more productive. We have different platforms that our clients can go on, so it's customizable. It's not a cookie cutter. Here's what you get. So we have different solutions for any size lender. So we work with small credit unions all the way up to the big banks and the big lenders, which is great because a lot of times you'll see some of the bigger names, which I'm sure you've heard. They really only tailor to the big brands, the big companies. Ours is if you're big, small, and different, we'll help you build the solution that works best for you. If you only want pieces of our software, that's fine. We do have some customers that only use pieces of our software. But what's great for us is we'll help streamline your process. We'll help you close loans faster. You close loans faster, you make more money, right? So, and it's customizable because we want to be able to offer a solution that works for them, not that just works for an out of the box solution.
So I'm not really good with technology. So are you saying that, let's say from conception of a possibility of a lead, turning them into a client, then actually taking the actual application, going through the process, going through underwriting, all the way through, this software actually helps people?
Yeah, because especially when you're all on one platform, right? You're not jumping in and out of different platforms and worrying about integrations, and if little pieces of an integration's broken. And again, I'm still learning, so don't quote me on all of this. And then all the way down to the closing piece, it's all one process. So we can, like you said, start all the way at a lead to a loan app, and then all the way through closing on our software.
Interesting. And is the platform set up for loss mitigation companies?
Good question. I could take that back. I don't know, actually. Yeah.
I'm just curious because obviously, the wave of nonsense is going to be coming up, and I've been doing it for so long. We actually just had to switch software that we were using because it was considered old and antiquated, and it wasn't something that we could utilize and customize.
Right.
So, I wish we had talked, prior to me.
Before you switched?
Before I switched.
Yeah. Well, where I am now, I'm not as visible, right, as I was before because, when you pivot into a new role, sometimes we'll talk about social media, but the platforms you're on and, I'm sure a lot of people are like, where have I been? Right. Because I used to be so active on Facebook and Facebook Live. And
where are you?
Where am I? I'm in New Jersey. I'm on LinkedIn a lot, right? Because that's kind of, and I think for anybody, you need to spend your time on the platform that works best for the position you're in.
Correct.
When I was with the other company doing sales and marketing, my main clients were loan officers and realtors, where they spend most of their time, Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
Where I am now, I need, C-suite, large companies or small companies, again, like we talked about, and decision makers. And most of those folks live on LinkedIn. So you'll see me super active on LinkedIn, which before I was as well, but now it's really shifted. I would say 70-30, 70% of the time on LinkedIn, doing the social networking through there. And I'm glad there's obviously video chats and things like that, because since we were stuck home, although my office is pretty, since we're stuck home, we have to connect some way. So.
No, absolutely, 100%. So it's funny you mentioned LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn for quite some time. I have about 9,000 quote unquote friends, followers, whatever. And I can tell you right now, LinkedIn for my industry, for me, big donut.
Really?
Zero.
But you want realtors.
I do want, of course I want realtors.
Right. And they're on there.
They are on there. But for whatever reason, I don't want to go on a tangent of LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's just a completely different platform.
Sure.
And I think people utilize it differently than I use it. Like I'm all over Facebook.
Of course, yeah.
And it works for me. And every time I bring a guest on, I get feedback. I get comments. Sometimes, people are relatable and people engage with them and they friend them and they want to know more about them or whatever it is. So for me, it works. We have made a push into Instagram. Instagram. I am now starting to get more followers than I've ever had before because of the function of the video aspect of it.
Yeah.
And, I'm starting to step up the whole marketing side of it now with these quote unquote, these thumbnail things.
Oh, what's that? The IGTV thumbnail things?
Yeah, whatever the thing like on the bottom, like you talk about whatever it is, and then you have like
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
the information on it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So, I think right now people are trying to find themselves, reinvent themselves.
Mm-hmm.
When all this happened, I wanted to stay relatable to people because people are saying, Matt, what's going on? What's going on in the industry? And people are flipping out. We've got past clients that have done modifications that are saying, hey, what if I don't qualify for a modification? What if my bank won't work with me? What if the forbearance ends up being a nightmare? Why won't my bank, do a deferment? So there's a lot. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to start doing this thing at 12 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And I got to tell you, we've actually got a really great response from it. We're always looking for, new people to come on, to interview, give them, their thought process, whatever. I wanted to have you on because, I did a little research on what you do. And, for me, like, I don't really understand. Like, I don't understand, like all these different things. So I think it's great for other people right now to take the time to learn about new products, maybe change industries, maybe think about rechanneling, I guess, their energies.
Mm-hmm.
That if they don't like what you're doing now, and they're like, hey, you know what? I'm getting unemployment anyway. I'm going to be locked in my house for the next 30 to 60 days. Why don't I get my resume
God,
together?
let's hope it's not any more than 30 more days.
Well, no, I'm saying like then it
Back
was.
then. Yeah,
Yeah,
March 14th, I think was the date.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, 100%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how are you doing right now? Like, what is your, as far as like the relationship building? Because I feel like somebody like yourself, that's like a son, and you're shiny, and you're always
Huh.
happy, and you're like in this little box. What are you doing to cope?
I do a lot of Zoom meetings. I post a ton of videos. Uh, I have my moments where I'm like, I'm not. It's funny because when everything first started, I kind of shut down because I was like, I'm never going to be able to handle this, right? And a couple people reached out, like, you haven't been on LinkedIn. What's going on? I haven't seen any videos. And it's like, well, I honestly, I'm so bummed that all of this is happening. It's serious. I get it. Um, I just couldn't bring myself to talk about anything because I was just overwhelmed by all of it. And I also didn't want to come on as sunny and bubbly as you say, and some people say, and then people think that I was being insensitive over the whole situation. So I pretty much stopped doing videos for a good month. And then once I got back on, and again, this is mostly LinkedIn, people were like, oh, it's so good to have you back. And, I do the same thing as you. I just started back the video series, having people in the industry and the mortgage side come on and, just other business development folks and talking about how their companies are handling it. And, like we're talking about borrowers' experience, how it's changed, and how employees' experiences have changed. So I've just upped my communication with my industry, networking wise, right? I mean, I'm used to seeing them at conferences because I'm at 15 plus conferences a year.
Mhm.
So now that I'm not seeing them at conferences, hey, let's get on Zoom and just BS for a half hour.
Right.
Scheduled 2 different networking calls a week. So on Tuesdays and Fridays, I have networking calls with people from the industry that just get on and we just BS about how we're doing personally and professionally. And we're also brainstorming about how, they're coping, their companies are coping, which we talked about recently too. The mortgage space, it's the only industry I feel like they're willing to help their competitors with, how are you handling the forbearance volume, right? Oh, talk to this guy. This guy does servicing, so he might be able to help you with, your call centers. And so I've just really started networking more through online just to kind of stay sane. I'm working more than I was working before, right? Like I have a call at 6:30 Eastern tonight till 7:30 Eastern. You know, where typically if it was a regular day or I'm traveling, I'm, pretty much logging off at 5 o'clock, but I feel like I'm working more hours. So it's been a balancing's been hard just because you're bored. So I'm like, well, I'll just stay online and I'll do videos and I'll post and, chat with people. A lot of our folks are on the West Coast. So, some of them I'm having calls with at 6, 7 o'clock here and they're still, 3 in the afternoon. So it's
So,
hard.
so you've been in your industry for how long? About a year and a half?
This industry, a year and 2 months. I like to say less than a year, right? Because your first 2, 3 months, you're just, and this phrase is used a lot at Cadence, you're drinking from a fire hose because I
Mhm.
spent 17, 18 years in the title space
Right. I like that.
and I knew nothing about fintech, right? I knew that there's this little system behind the screens that all these loan officers are taking loan apps and all of that. But a former client of mine called and said, "Hey, are you looking at doing something different?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I've been in title, forever." But like you said, I kind of felt like, all right, it's time to try something different. Um, so major change, shifting into the to this space because I'm still learning. I mean, and we're always changing, right? Especially now, right? You have a lot of companies that have to go work from home that have never had to do that. You have big banks that have to bring all of their employees home. So, some of our products help with that because they're not in the office to shift files back and forth. So, luckily we've got some products that can help them with that, being able to work from home. So it's but again, I think this is the only industry and that will come out stronger. And I think a lot will change, right? I mean,
So
folks that
there is a lot changing.
Mhm.
And so, talking with people that own massive amount of commercial, massive amount of residential mixed use.
Mhm.
And here's what I'm finding. Bigger companies that might have had a space of 50, 60,
Yeah.
70, you already know where I'm headed with this,
Yeah.
50,
I
60
already know.
employees
Mhm.
are now like, wait a second. Like I talked to, somebody that I was introduced to, and he said commercial space it's going to become almost obsolete
Mhm.
because whereas before you wanted to house everybody in one place,
Mhm.
you wanted to have the big brother approach,
Mhm.
watching over everybody, hovering over everybody, maybe even installing cameras to see that they're being productive. What they're finding is people that are working from home are actually being very productive.
Yeah.
They're actually working longer
Yeah, I
hours.
just said that. I'm working longer hours, right?
They're working longer hours. So I think what's going to happen is a couple different things. You're going to see a lot more shared space, where they're either going to lease stuff out, they're going to have multiple companies in it. So maybe whereas like, it might be like ABC company, now you're going to see like maybe five different companies
Mhm.
there. They're going to subdivide the space, right? And or they're going to have these bigger companies that are going to really cut the size down. They're going to not trim the fat of the employees, but the overhead. I've got a buddy of mine who I'm going to have on next week. He was paying a ridiculous amount of money for space, Delray Beach, Florida,
Mhm.
and he was the only one who had a real commercial space, and everybody else was retail. And it pissed off all the other real estate agents. So I'm excited to have him on and him talk about it. But because the area that he was in and everything else, so the commercial space was booming. So the rent just kept going up and up and up. And he turned to his wife. He said, "You know what? We don't need the commercial space
Mhm.
anymore. We're going to do everything. We're going to do it virtually, or we're going to have a little bit of a space somewhere,
Yeah.
and then that's it." So what he did was for 2 years, he took all the rent that he would have utilized in that space and went to Bahamas and he purchased a property there.
Yeah, I mean, you're certainly going to have your big lenders who are going to have headquarters, and we certainly have two headquarters. We have one
Right,
headquarter, but we have our secondary
right,
location. But the need to have everybody in the office,
right,
processors, underwriters,
right,
loan originators, all of that.
right.
Um, I think it's opened up the eyes to say, okay, it's not necessary. Um, I think some companies will force it back, and this is just my opinion. I don't know if this will happen, just because they want to feel like things are normal again. I'm not going to say new normal because I hate that.
Right.
I think that you'll have the companies like, hey, the office is open, come in, right? But you've seen the big companies like Google and I think Twitter, and there's a big media company here that have said through the rest of the year we don't want anyone in the office. I mean,
Right. Well, even Amazon is hiring like crazy, and you could work from home, and you could be, I forget what the terminology is, but
yeah, the customer service rep or
yeah,
whatever.
whatever. Yeah, because but so the point I'm trying to make is that even like bigger companies before that was so set in stone, it was almost like a wake up
Yeah,
call. And sometimes you need to stick your finger. I'm obviously I don't do it, but some people might do in an electrical socket
yeah,
and get a shock and go, wait
right.
a second, something is different. I had that a couple of years ago. I changed the direction of my company. I knew that I wanted to take things in a completely different direction to make me happy, to be able to service my clients better, to have a better life. Only recently I'm working so much harder than I normally was on a daily basis, but I don't mind doing it. And some days
Yeah,
I'm up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll lay my head down until 12
yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
That's what happens when you love what you do.
I totally love what I do.
When you love what you do, it's not work, right? I mean,
Right.
there are days here, and I love my CEO, Pete Espinoza. He's amazing, and my bosses and my colleagues. There are days, and I'm like, ugh, right? There's days you just don't want to get out of bed, especially being, locked at home. But once I'm up and at my desk and, talking with my colleagues and, helping lenders do better for their borrowers, it's just, and the relationship piece of the business is what I love the most, right? I mean, it's about building relationships. I used to do those get to know me videos, and I did a challenge, and everyone was like, "What is this get to know me challenge?" I said, "Listen, people will do business with you if they like you. Period."
Or even know you.
Right. So there's two things, right? Three things: like, know, and trust. They need to like you, they need to know you in order to trust you to do business with you. So I started those like, I don't know, a year ago, and was like just getting on talking about my dog or my kids or how I started in the mailroom and, what I'm doing now. And then I would challenge people to do it because all they see is, the person behind the email, and they don't see them as a person. So when I'm doing my interviews, I'm much like you. I'm not talking about what does your company do? Is your company, are you VA? Are you construction? Are you, it's about what's great about your company. What do you love about your company? But how about you? Like, what do you love? Like, I'm asking everybody, where are you going when COVID's over?
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
And I've had a couple people say, hey, I'm going to the beach. And I've had a couple people say, I'm spending time with my family. Um, but it's the relationship piece of the business that's so important. And it's the same for you. Like, I'm sure you have repeat clients who know you and, just keep coming back because they like you, and
So
you're authentic, like you're real, right? You're not just this
so
fake.
yeah, but some people don't like the fact that I'm too real.
Yeah.
That I
Yes.
don't that I
Right.
don't that I don't have a filter.
Mm-hmm.
My family worries every day what's actually going to come out of my mouth and what direction I'm going to head a conversation in.
Yeah.
So I do try to keep it somewhat professional.
Right. Of
Um,
course.
so the 12 o'clock show is really to get for me to bring people on that's relatable in the real estate world, and I try to keep it light and airy. Now on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, when it's available, I'm actually scaling back a little bit on the night shows because we are really getting busier.
Yeah.
So I have to, and it takes a little time to put these things together. To
Yeah, for
email
sure.
somebody, to ask them what they want to talk about,
Hmm.
and to outline stuff. So it's almost like I'm the host, I'm the TV star,
Hmm.
I'm the production guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the gopher. Like if I got to go out and get something to drink.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah, I've got my big Yeti.
there you go. So one thing I wanted to touch on, and I want to talk about change, and I want to talk about like obviously like what people are going through right now, what they need to focus on, and it's okay to focus on a career.
Hmm.
So and I don't know if you want me to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up regardless because you mentioned it to me and you seem pretty proud about it. So I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
You've been with your company now for about a year and 2 months, but you
Hmm.
said under a year. But I have to tell you, did a little research about the company the technology is pretty sexy. The
Yeah.
fact that you literally just got or you're getting promoted to another position within the company should show people it's really about the passion of what you do
Mhm.
and having that drive. Tell everybody what's going on, your current position, basically what it entails, and what your new position is going to be.
Yeah. So current position is Vice President of Product Solutions, which is down there on the screen. I was responsible with a colleague of mine to bring a new product to market, which was our closing collaboration product. It's called
Mhm.
Collaboration Centers, formerly. Um, Bringing it to our lenders, title companies, and lenders that are not part of the Mortgage Cadence family. Bringing it to market, making sure people know about it, going to conferences, talking about it, onboarding new clients. We've onboarded several clients in the last year. The product's fairly new for us, so we spent a lot of time going out there preaching to the choir of about the product. So that evolved into, man, Ash, you are always on social media and you're always talking to people and you're building relationships and you have relationships in the industry all the way from the realtor level to the C-suite executive level. So the new role, which hasn't been formally announced on LinkedIn or anywhere yet, is Vice President of Communications and Business Development. So now, instead of just worrying about my product, which is the closing collaboration product, I'm going to be bringing the entire Mortgage Cadence story out to the industry, from those small banks that we talked about all the way up to the big banks. So I'll be responsible to make sure that our branding is on point, our communication's on point, that people know who we are, people know why we're great, people know about our family and who we are as a company and why they should
Mhm.
work with us because we're awesome. So, there's our plug. So that new gig is really my wheelhouse, right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
relationships and it's talking to people and it's getting to know companies and what they need, not a sales pitch. I hate the sales pitch. I hate on LinkedIn when I accept your friend request, it immediately follows with a, do you need this product, or how can we help you, or getting like these spammy emails that say, can I give you a list of all these loan officers? I'm like, first of all, we're not a mortgage company, so I don't need your loan officers. But growing the brand.
But you see what you just did right there?
What?
That is so important
Yeah.
because what happens is, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like social media.
Yeah.
The fact that with LinkedIn, I get more requests for garbage than anything else anywhere else. With Facebook, if somebody and people need to do this to show that they're real and authentic,
Yeah.
not that they're salesy. And I'll let you continue. On Facebook, when I put something out as a post, and I put something out the other day and I had 38 comments. When the 38 comments, and then I had people, I guess, that saw it because other people liked it,
Right.
and they want to be friends. So I reached out and I said, "Hey, thank you so much for the friend request. I'm not accepting people right now on my personal page, but I have a company page,
Your business page. Yeah.
my business page." And one of the people actually reached out and said, "I'm sorry, is this a bot,
Ah.
a robot?" And
Hmm.
I said, "No," I said, "This is an actual person, but I appreciate it." We started talking, joking around, whatever it is. They're in real estate. We're looking into doing a transaction together.
Yeah.
It's about reaching out, communicating with people, following up, not dropping something. Hey,
Mm-mm.
I'm the best lender. I'm the best
Mm-mm.
this. I'm the best.
Oh,
It's like be real,
the
just be authentic.
it's being, yeah, it's
And
the
when,
authenticity, right? I say it all the time. Like, sometimes I get like frustrated with seeing, top producer of the month closed $5 billion, and like, yeah, that's fantastic. Kudos to you, high five, right? But people, like, the bragginess and the pitches
what
and
if we turned it around and said, hey, you know what? I want to show you guys a free seminar on how I closed X amount in transactions.
yeah.
You know, I don't, because I tell people all the time, I don't look at people as competition. I look at people as opportunity.
Mhm.
And there's not enough people like that in any industry
Yeah.
because everybody's like, oh my God, I got to be better. I got to be better. You
Mhm.
can be the best you want to be. Your only competition should only be yourself.
Yourself. Ah, we're on the same page. That's it. I always do the finger wrong. Always.
You're always, yeah, you got to do it like that. None of the things. That's like
No, it's always,
shooting.
it's like, well, you can't see it. Yeah, that's the most important, is being real, right? I mean, I could certainly go. buy a Louis V bag and a Gucci shirt and get online and talk about how well I'm doing financially, but people don't care about that.
No, they don't.
I mean, look at the people that were doing amazing that got laid off because of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're collecting unemployment because their company may shut down. Big restaurants in New York City that have been open 15, 20 years have to close. So you can brag all day long about how much money you're making. If you're not a likable person, you're not real, and you're a copycat. Oh, the dog. You're a copycat, or you're, you know, just bragging all the time. People don't want to work with that. They want to work with somebody, regardless of, like you said about the filter. Um, I obviously have to be careful about that. There's a few times I've slipped on online, but they just want someone that's real and genuine and cares about helping people, right? My clients, like I care about my clients. Most of them become friends. Like there's clients that I've had from 2003 that still text me on a regular basis because they become family,
Right,
right?
exactly.
So, yeah, like you guys, like I'm in a different industry. I can service you in some way. That sounded terrible, but like I can work with you still in my old industry because I still have
I like
connections.
the fact
Yeah.
that you are willing to openly state that you're willing to service me.
Stop.
I appreciate
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I still have the connections in the industry I was in before. So if you said to me tomorrow, Ash, I need you to run title on this property in Hoboken, I could certainly do it because I
right.
have those connections because I don't lose connections regardless if I move, industries. I'm still in the mortgage industry. I'm just in a different space. That's how you, like Jennifer and I and you and so many others I still talk to, even though I'm not in that space
Right.
anymore. It's because of the connections and because I truly care about my clients because they become friends and some of them become family.
And
So,
some of them you like to overly service.
and yeah, anytime you need service.
I love it. You're all about the service industry.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I have to state. So they're always talking about, the unemployment. They're talking about how things are so horrible and everything like that. But I want everybody to realize that the majority of the people that got hit with unemployment were people that were in the service industry.
Hmm.
So if you worked in a restaurant, you were a
Right.
server. If you were a
Right.
cook, you were
Or like the schools, right? Like, a couple friends of mine, working in the, were a bus driver or, working in the school, not a teacher, because obviously the teachers are still working, but
Mhm.
um, the mortgage industry, we're busy.
Everybody, I think anybody that's relatable in the real estate industry is busy. I think that if you're not busy in the real estate world right now, you really, and this is my personal opinion, this is me, this is not Ashley Gravano, this is me. I think you guys need to rethink the industry that you're in.
Right.
Because right now, there are plenty of people purchasing properties.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's plenty of people using technology to promote themselves.
Right.
I'm a little bit older than you, Ash. Now,
Only a year, maybe.
Jen is, a little bit younger, right? And and then there's other people that are younger than her that I'm friends with now because of social media.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because Snapchat,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Facebook, there's a new one, Web Talk, which I'm on now.
I don't know that one.
We could talk about
TikTok,
we
Twitter.
can up on even like TikTok, all these Twitter, all these different social media platforms that are on there. Everybody has a different category of what they're doing. Like when Facebook came on the scene, Facebook was for kids that were going to college,
Right.
and it literally blew MySpace out of the
Yeah.
because they couldn't keep up with technology.
Mm-hmm.
The technology was in there. They didn't see, the writing on the wall. Who else didn't see the writing on the wall? I mean, look, Toys R Us got screwed because upper management or people in the upper management were taking large bonuses. And they really didn't focus too much on the shipping. Why? Because Amazon was helping them shipping. Amazon came on like an assassin and basically single-handedly, starting from a garage, became a multi-billion-dollar business.
Right.
Because guess what, guys? They saw a problem and they filled it, a niche. It was a little crack that needed to be filled in. And because they did that, they took over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say to people like you and me that are professionals, we're not selling ourselves. We are promoting ourselves, our products. And honestly, we're welcoming people into our communities and our families.
Yeah.
When we take a client on,
Mm-hmm.
they soon become a family member.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people have, this is a perfect example, not to keep harping on her, but
No, harp away.
Jen Romero always talks about commission breath. Now she said she can't claim to it because she didn't say it or invent it, but she's right. And I think in any type of business that if you're desperate for a sale, people are going to see right through it. I've
Yeah.
turned clients away. I turned a client away today because, well, he didn't want to pay for the service.
Yeah.
He wanted,
Plus, yeah.
he wanted me to help him navigate through the situation that he has right now in his short sale
For free.
for free, and actually wanted one of my contacts in a major bank so they could call them direct. Yeah, I don't think so. That's
Yeah.
not how that works.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're all about helping people, right? I
Right.
mean, if I can help you, I'm going to help you, but I'm not going to. Yeah.
In the past, Ashley, I've tried to open up gates for people
Mm-hmm.
in that situation, and all it's done is basically shot myself in the foot
Yeah.
because they call too much. They're saying inappropriate things on a telephone call, legit. And I'm probably one of the most inappropriate people you ever meet. But you know what? There is a place and a time to be inappropriate, but not on recorded phone call.
Right. No.
Not knowing that, you're calling somebody during a busy work day
Right.
and you shouldn't be asking them what they're wearing. Like, that's just ridiculous.
What?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
Oh, I
And,
mean, I get all kinds of stuff. All of a sudden LinkedIn turns into match.com, but
right, no, but that's okay. But and it's not, but it's okay.
yeah. No, I know what you mean.
But as far as even from the business platform, the business side of it, you ask somebody, hey, can I call this person and talk to them? And then they talk to them, and it's like they're literally calling them almost every day. And now they're asking and they want to learn. Hey,
Right.
guys, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And I get a phone call saying, look, this guy obviously doesn't want to pay you, Matt, and
Right.
he's trying to go around you, and he wants to know how we do business together. That is a quick final way to get the final nail in the coffin and not to want to do business with someone. There should be enough around for people to be able for everybody to be successful, be happy, and, be able to put food on their table.
It's funny because one thing I really disliked towards the end of my title sales gig, right? I mean, if you look at where I was first, I was at a national big title company that, I was responsible for big, large banks, Merrill, Bank of America, all that. So it wasn't, selling directly to a loan officer or realtor for a one, two deal off, here and there, right? What I started to hate was the cutting at the knees from the competitors, right?
Right.
And it just became overwhelming. Like, that's not how you do business. You're not going to be around a long time if that's how you expect to do business. You want to borrow someone's time because time is money. So they
Right.
want you to tell them for free how to do something, or, they want to call Jen and ask Jen for her opinion, or Michelina or anybody else. Hey, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
You know, your time is worth more than, yeah, it's frustrating. But like you were saying before, if you're not busy now, you can't use COVID as an excuse because I'm in my house 24/7 and I'm busy,
Well,
right? I mean, these big lenders, they're the big names. They're, overwhelmed with incoming calls. I talked to one of my clients the other day and they said, we haven't stopped. We're hiring 300 people, and it's a regional lender, so it's not like it's one of the big names. It's like we're hiring 300 people. We're busy. So unfortunately, the media's got all this doom and gloom, which I hate. How the sky is falling. Certainly, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some lenders or realtors or maybe small brokerages that are going to go out of business because they haven't pivoted like we talked about, and they weren't able to change with this whole thing that no one's ever, a pandemic, a boom, and a recession at the same time, which is what I've been hearing. those people are going to go out of business because they couldn't change and they're not ready with like the technology, right? There's no excuse for you not to be connecting with people unless it's a personal thing, right? I mean, some people have gotten really down in the dumps and you see posts about, mental health. It's obviously Mental Health Awareness Month. And sometimes people just, they're in situations or they're in places that, they're struggling to get by because they're home or they're working from home and trying to manage younger kids. I couldn't imagine being a mom of 3 younger kids in this, right? Where you have to do bottle feedings and diapers and all of that. Like I could not imagine. So I'm lucky enough that my 12-year-old can take his own shower and make his own food, because if I'm working 12 hours a day, I couldn't imagine having to have
At
3.
12 years old, I hope to God you do it.
Yeah, yeah. I just couldn't imagine having smaller kids at home. So, I feel bad for some of those people in the industry that have that, or they might have, like, luckily my husband doesn't work from home, so we have that space, right? If we didn't, I mean, there's people that, their spouses are right next to them in the office having to work.
Yeah, there's going to be a tremendous amount of divorce. I can tell you right now, people that we're having continuous affairs.
Mm.
Think about it. They can't see their significant other, right? That's going to put a kibosh on that, right? There's going to be a lot more babies that are going to be born. Please don't name your child COVID. I mean, I've heard some stupid stories. Just stop.
There's people that name their kids COVID and Corona. There
Yeah,
is. I've seen it.
I believe it. I believe it. So, COVID-19 right now, like if you're in the real estate industry and you're not busy, you really need to rethink what you're doing. You got to change your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you can, if you're a real estate agent, you can purchase leads. You can buy leads. If your real estate company doesn't offer you a source, and or your quote unquote person, your point of contact or your lead in your group isn't offering solutions for you, guess what? Now's the time for you to jump ship.
Yeah.
And go to another agency.
Yeah, exactly.
On a research. This is a great time to try to figure out, what is your niche? What is it you can do right now to help yourself, better yourself, put yourself in a better situation when this is all done? So obviously, people know what I do.
Right.
This isn't about me. This is about me talking to people about what you're doing, what you're providing. The 12 o'clock show, unless it's something that it's a mutual interest, or if it's something that we're both working on together, I want people to come on. I want other people and individuals to grow. I got this for you. I don't even mind, and I'm going to throw it out right now on social media. I don't mind having a panel with other short sale, quote unquote, experts.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying before about the fact that other lenders are collaborating with each other.
100%.
Because you have to. Like, this is something that no one's ever gone through. So you're awesome. You're amazing. RRG's great. Your people are great. I've worked with you guys in the past, but someone may be doing something that could just tweak your business a little bit, or vice versa. Like, you could completely teach somebody how to change their business. Of course, we're not going to do that for free, unless it's a panel like this, but,
And but believe it or not, I've actually offered that. I've had people come to me, to Leah and me both. And I actually worked up 2 different game plans for 2 different organizations, and it all came down to money. And my thing, like, I laughed because the marketing budget that one of the companies has, it's kind of like, dude, cut your marketing budget in half.
Yeah.
2 months, you're still going to get leads coming in, but you're going to learn a different way, a better, effective performance way to manage what's coming in and to be able to delegate. One of them, I actually spent about, I want to say, almost a little over 2 hours, and we went over who the people were in their organization. And I had a complete game plan. Now, the people that were in the department or the role that they were in, they weren't probably going to like it, because here I am, I'm going to be trimming the fat off of what they've been doing and earning, and put them into a different role where they actually have to earn, right? But they have to produce. And if you're not producing, you're not going to earn. So I think there's a lot of things that are going to happen during this time frame. And we're having people that are reaching out. Ash, we have people reaching out right now that have been in the industry for a long time. It's like, hey, are you interested in doing group training? Because we have the Zoom calls. We do coaching calls. I'm already doing the corporate training. I have one-on-one clients. So I don't mind helping people, but people have to want to invest in
Right. It
really
is an investment. Yeah.
themselves. That's why, I took a look at your product. It is pretty cool. It is pretty impressive. And I truly think that people need to definitely now rethink working smarter, not harder, because people are writing mortgages. You told me you
Mhm.
just ran title for I don't know how many people the other day, which was pretty cool. So I mean, obviously you're still in the industry. You still have your, quote unquote hookup, and the company that you're working with, and it's about providing the service. And I
Yeah.
don't think people understand that we are really in any business, a customer care industry
Yep.
driven business, and you really should care because it's going to show. And if it's in person, you're going to see the dollar sign on your forehead. If
Yeah.
it's on the phone, you're going to hit a desperation in her voice.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually, and I'm sure my CEO will listen to this, but I was on a call with a prospect last week, and they were kind of telling me their story and what they're doing, and I said, "This isn't a fit for you." I'm a salesperson right now, the second
Hmm.
shifting into something different, but
Right.
this isn't a fit for you. And you know what? He's like, "You know what? I truly admire you because when it is a fit for me, I'm calling you first." Because I don't want to sell him something he's not going to use, right? Because then what's it going to do for my reputation? This girl, Ashley, that people know in the industry that was referred to me, sold me this thing that I'm not going to use, it's not going to work for me. So it was a takeaway. Hey, listen, when you're ready, when you think this is a fit for you, we've gone through all of your options, call me back.
Hmm.
If I can't help you then, I'm going to get you to somebody who can help you because again, it's about caring about your prospects, not just your clients, because your prospects could be your clients someday. It's caring about your clients and it's caring about your family in the industry, right? If I have someone that's like, I'm in trouble, I'm going to lose my home, this, that, and the other, I'm like, you're going to call Matt and Matt's going to hook you up, right? I have someone that needs to list a house up in North Jersey. You're going to call Jen. Or, I'm moving, I need to stage my house. You're going to call Michelina, right? So it's about your network. Your network is your net worth. Don't tell me it's BS because it's not. I have somebody that I can send you to in every area of the mortgage industry, title insurance, even though I'm not doing it myself, appraisals, everything. I mean, you
Right.
have to, I don't know. I know I'm sounding preachy at this point, but you know, it's
No,
about relationships and it's about being authentic. It's about not flashing how you're the highest producing loan officer or real estate agent in 2020 and blah blah blah. It's about being authentic, caring. It's about taking the time. And of course, finding the balance for life and having a good time once the thing is lifted. So,
so you are a part of my movement, which is people before profit.
oh, I love it.
So
It
my
is people before profit.
so I tell people all the time, I did hashtag people before profit, but there's a lot of other things that come up. So I switch it and I do hashtag RRG people before profit. And if anybody actually goes on to the RRG people before profit hashtag in front of it, they'll be able to see some of the stuff that we put out there.
Yeah.
And you just said it by telling the guy that the product was not right for him right now. You could have put the profit before the people, but you
Hmm.
didn't. And to me, that's one of the reasons why I personally love you because of your heart. It was never about the money. When you were in the quote unquote title side of it, I did give you some work. I
Hmm.
didn't give you the bulk of my business, but we did do business together.
Hmm.
One of the transactions that I remember working on, and Chris still jokes around at Chris Chin,
Yeah.
sending out the overnight packages to
Yeah.
that family. That one transaction that was such a pain in the ass.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
But we got it done.
Yeah.
We got it done. You
Yeah.
ran the original title, and he said, Chris, there's more than one mortgage on this property.
It's a mess. Yeah.
And it was a freaking train wreck, is what it
Hmm.
was. But it all worked out. You were
Yeah.
great. If we ever had an issue with the title company, whatever, you were like, Matt. And we didn't really have any issues, but you're like, and I love the fact that you were always like so hands on.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, pass the lead. Like when you go to buy a car,
Right.
when you buy a vehicle, and they're like, they'll literally blow smoke up your ass for you to buy
Hmm.
the car. I say a house on my mind, the car. And then that's it. So
Yeah.
then you go back and you want to talk to them. I don't handle that. I got told
Yeah. I'm your sales. No, I'm not your. Yeah.
yeah. No, that's not right. So
Yeah.
guess what's not going to happen? I'm not going to refer anyone to you.
Mm-mm.
I'm never coming back to you again. I've actually had people reach out and say, hey, what's going on? Long time no speak. You know, we have the, what do you call it going on with the sales promotions right now? That's really great. Oh, what's my, you in a bad mood? No. I said, but you know what's funny? You forgot about me after the initial sale that you made. You had zero customer service, and you're calling me now, and you're trying to help me out. Guess what's not going to happen? But I tell you what will happen. You remember that person that was in front of you that was really helpful, and when you didn't want to talk to me, they did. Tell me what day you're not going to be there, or you
Yeah.
can be there if you want, and
Yeah.
I'm going to give my sale to them.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That,
I mean, I have clients and accounts I've closed since I've joined here, and they still reach out to me. Hey, Ash, a question. Who do I go to?
mhm.
And I'll get them to who they need to go to. Obviously, I can't help them. I'm in a different industry where what I do at the beginning, it's technology, right? So they're passing it to the tech team because I certainly can't help them with integrations and APIs and all the other words that I still am learning. I have a long, handwritten definition list over here, but I'm going to get them where they need to go. You can't blow people off. And back when I was doing the title stuff full time, I was getting phone calls on Christmas. Hey, I'm closing tomorrow and I didn't get my package yet. Well, give me a minute, right? And every client that I've had will tell you that. And not to be braggy, but I've probably had one pissed off client in all the years I was doing that. And it wasn't my fault, wasn't our company's fault. But
Mhm.
all the others will tell you, like you just said, if you needed me, I'd answer the phone. Um, and I've mentored a bunch of people, and I think mentoring is important. And like you said, you've tried to help some people, but at the end of the day, you have to invest in it. Um, Sometimes mentoring bites you in the butt. I've mentored some people that I no longer speak with, and it is what it is.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt. 100%.
I know what I've did, and that's it, right? So,
So let's say this. You are an amazing person.
thank you.
You offer a tremendous amount of support, and you absolutely, truly care. The
Mhm.
people that I'm trying to come on to the show at 12 o'clock, Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time, um, on Facebook is because I want people to see that there are other people out there that have value, offer service, and the follow up is there, and you're not just a number, and it's not about sales. So let's end it here and say it's
Mhm.
mortgagecadence.com,
Mhm.
and the people obviously could go onto the website. And these are for people that write mortgages. They should check out the software
Yeah.
and see what it is that you provide. And then if anybody has any questions or concerns, obviously, they could private message you on Facebook. They can hit you with, any of the hashtags that, we've shown earlier, which will pop up right now. They could take a look at those hashtags. Now, if they want to reach out to you, either in the office, right, or if they want to reach out to you, let's say on your cell phone, perhaps, this is the office number. Okay, so guys, Ashley Gravano works for a company called Mortgage Cadence. Take a look at the information that they provide. Her office number is 267 216 0257. Again, the office number is 267 216 0257. You can also reach her on her cell phone. Guys, nothing naughty.
No.
Her cell number is 609-667-8879. Again, the cell number is 609-667-8879. If you guys are in the mortgage industry, you write mortgages, or you're looking for alternatives to software, and you don't want to do stuff by hand or whatever it is,
Mhm.
and you're looking into the future, guys, COVID-19 right now, you're working from home anyway. Chances are you're on the back deck, you're drinking a beer, smoking a cigar, cigarettes, maybe some of those funny ciggies, whatever. But find out what's out there. Learn, educate yourself. Ash, is there anything that you'd like to add before we sign off?
Nope, you covered it. I appreciate you having me on, and it's been good to chat because we haven't chatted in a bit. I was gonna wear my hat because I just got this super cool Yankees hat.
What?
Yeah, how great is that?
I love it.
But I was like, no, I wanted to do my hair.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know, because we're both Yankees. Look at me making a mess.
I love
Um,
it.
so I was gonna wear that, but decided with the the suit jacket and the t-shirt. But yeah, I'm just I'm glad to be on now that I'm a mess. You know, loan officers out there, branch managers, C-suite executives, anybody that's looking at this. I mean, Mortgage Cadence is a software solution. So if your old software is kind of running funny or not quick enough, that's it. Just give us a look.
Guys, so my guest today, my co-host, supermodel, Ashley Gravano from Mortgage Cadence. She's been promoted from her current position in under a year and a half to a different position that she's going to be in. But she's all about, helping people and showing people how to grow. This is Real Estate Recovery Group. This is live streaming, and we do these Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 7 p.m. when available. Ash, at the end of every show, I ask people to do the point. So I want to see if you do the finger point.
Come on. I've been trying for 4 years to do the finger point.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to give you like a 5.5. Is
that better?
It's a little better.
I was like once on one of your photo ads.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Okay.
Like my thumb just wants to do like the.
You know what it is? When I do it, look how fast I finger it.
Wait.
It's like cutting glass.
Is that better? I gotta keep the thumb here.
That's better. I give you 1.5. Guys, Ashley Gravano from Mortgage Cadence. Thank you so much for coming on, Ash. Hold on one sec.